think there is network issues all around.
Sorry, Mr. Augusta, I'm with you.
But this is not Augusta, this is Daniel now. What I'm saying is you can now discuss your team with us. You're already prepared. So tell us what you have to say about the team tonight. Ms. Adamu?
He's frozen now. Okay, she's back on.
It's going on and off. It's not nice. You said it's Mr. Daniel. You said what, please?
Our team tonight is covering gender-based violence in Northern Nigeria.
Okay, let me just take over from here.
Is it
Adamu, are you
Oluwade?
there?
Yes,
Mr.
I'm
Adamu,
here.
it's Augusta. Okay, so before we go further now, can you just explain what is your understanding of gender-based violence?
Gender-based violence is unrelated assault on human dignity, as depriving people of their human rights.
Yeah, we can hear you. Please go ahead. Mr. Adamu?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay, freedom from violence is about fundamental human rights, and gender-based violence undermines a person's sense of self-worth and self-esteem. It affects not only physically, but health, also their mental problem, and it may lead to self-harm, isolation, depression, and suicidal attempt. So basically, gender-based violence is assault on human dignity.
Okay, will you say that this gender-based violence is only targeted towards the female gender, or is it something that affects both the male and female gender?
It affects both the male and female gender, but because the female gender are vulnerable to most of the violence, that's why we feel they are most targeted at.
Why did you choose to carry out this particular research in the northern part of Nigeria? Will you say it is because the northern part of Nigeria face this issue more than other parts, or is it a general issue and you just chose northern part of Nigeria?
It's a general issue, and why I feel I should carry on the research here, because this is where I base, mostly in the northern part of Nigeria. And whatever you feel you want to give out, you want to reach out to your community, I feel I should start from my roots. So I feel that's why I'm doing it here, mostly in the northern part of Nigeria, basically where I stay.
Okay, so far from your research, can you give us statistics of how this issue has affected people in northern Nigeria?
Oh goodness, you are breaking, please. Come again,
okay,
please.
I said,
It seems I lost you. Is it just me or?
From your research, you've been doing
No,
this
it's not
research
you.
for some time now,
Augusta.
I assume. So can you
Augusta.
give us
Is it,
statistics
we
of
lost,
how
is
this
it me or
Augusta.
issue has
generally?
affected
Augusta.
people in the
Everyone
northern?
is on. Augusta.
Yes, can you
I
She
please
think she's
can't
hear
hear.
having
me?
And neither
problem too.
Can you
Yeah.
hear me?
signal problem.
Can you hear me?
We can
Not
now.
clearly, you are breaking.
Okay. Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's okay now.
All right. I apologize for that. I said that you've been carrying out this research for a while. So, do you have any statistics of how this issue has affected people in the northern Nigeria? That was my question.
Actually, we don't have statistic here in the northern part of the region because mainly most of the violence are not underreported. So we cannot, we don't really have any statistic down here. Most of the people that have been violated, we are facing the challenges of the people are not even accepting the fact that they are violated. And even when they are, there is this, it depends on the type of the assault or the violation. Even when they accept it, there are issues of stigmatization and family background and other factors that doesn't allow the victim to report or say it out. So we have the problem of underreporting. So that's why we cannot say for now if we have any statistic or what. But what I can tell you is that gender-based violence is mostly from you have it mostly mainly from the married women. We have a lot of reports coming from them, and those girls that are raped and the little boys that are raped too. So it's not just on female, but we have some kind of reports from domestic violence and the little boys that are being raped homosexually. That is for those that have courage to report the assault on them.
Okay, you mentioned something now saying sometimes these victims don't even know that they have been violated. Can you clarify that statement?
Yeah, you know, there's this violence, we refer it as psychologically or emotionally. The victim feel, mostly it comes from experience and the interaction we have with mostly the young married women, where I said they don't feel as if they are violated. Most of them would like to pursue their education, further their education, but because they are married and this person that married them feels he doesn't want to leave them further their education. You know, psychologically and emotionally, you see, they are being violated by their rights, because they feel they need to stay in the marriage and to give the man that happiness. So they feel they will just keep their dream and to move on. You know, such kind of situation, they don't seem as if their rights is being violated. And there are those girls that stays with their uncle, so they get assaulted one way or the other. Sometimes it feels as if they are doing them favor. So we have such kind of issues and report there and thereabout.
Remember that you can join us with this conversation simply by raising up your digital hand, and I'll try to accommodate as much questions and comments as possible. Now, Mr. Damu, will you say that the culture and religion practiced in the northern part of Nigeria play a role in propagating these gender-based violence issues?
Come again, please.
Will you say that the culture and religion practiced in the northern part of Nigeria have a role to play in the increase of gender-based violence issues in northern Nigeria?
Yeah, definitely. It's not just the part of northern Nigeria, but African at large, because we have this culture of what do you call it? We have this culture of playing it's the man's world. So whatever the man feel he wants in his home, that's how he's going to be. So basically, it's not just in the northern Nigeria, but African at large. But yeah, the cultural and religious background do play its great part. I can agree with you that.
Okay, now that in northern part of Nigeria, underage marriage is a normal thing. Will you also say that that is still a problem because it's
You are breaking, please.
acceptable norm? Would you classify that as part of gender-based now? Hello.
Come again, please. Come again, please.
I said, in northern Nigeria, where underage marriage is a normal thing, it's part of the culture, will you classify this as part of gender-based violence issues, or is it just a normal thing there?
Yeah, it depends. It depends on the background. There are people. Sometimes I told you earlier that some of those victims doesn't even know that they are being violated. Those little girls that do get married very early, they do marry them out very early. They feel they are doing the parents. That is, they are. How can I put it? They feel as if it's the right thing to do. That is to get married early, and there are some that do want to carry on in their lives, but they are submitted to that early marriage. So of course, it depends on how the individual feels. There are people that do get married early because, yeah, they feel they've reached the age. It depends from the background you come from, even in the northern part of the country. So when you feel it's okay for you as a 15 years or 16 years to get married, good and fine. I don't feel she has been violated because she got married with her own concept. But there are those that they bundle them out for marriage. Those are those that can be categorized as they have been violated. Their rights have been violated. Yes, to some point. Yeah, I can relate that with the gender-based violence.
Okay.
Some extent. Are you there?
All right. You are the founder of Step Forward Charity Foundation. Can you tell us what exactly your foundation is about? Yes, I said, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yes, I am the founder of
Mr.
Step Forward.
Adamu, I said you are the founder of Step Forward Charity Foundation. So, what exactly is your foundation about? This
Can everybody hear
particular
me, please? Or is it just
foundation. What is this particular foundation? I'm asking, what exactly is your Step Forward Charity Foundation about?
Step Forward Charity Foundation is a non-governmental, non-partisan organization. We started by with the statistic of the out of school children, which mostly is from the northern part, and we feel we need to reach out to those out of school children, mostly the almajiris, the hawkers, the beggars accomplice, and there are those that are with their parent and their guardian as well, but they are not going to school. So we feel the need to reach to them, to educate them and create awareness to them on the importance of modern education, skills acquisition, and health talk. We started by going to the Almajiri schools, which is referred to as Sangayas here in the northern part of the country. We did some of our program because most of our members are based here in Kaduna. So we reached out to some of the Almajiri school, and we were able to do a kind of sensitization to them, and some of the members do go to teach them some basic education like literacy and numeracy. And we were able to convince some of them to go back to school. Basically, that is what we are doing. And we started looking at gender-based violence recently. We're doing our activity around Kaduna, Igabi local government. We are talking with some youth, both females and male there. That's basically what we do here.
Okay, and so far, what are the challenges you have faced?
Yeah, the challenges we are facing mostly from the I categorized out of school children into the almajiris, the hawkers, and the accomplice. The challenges we're facing mostly is from the so-called malams. We found out that most of them are like extorting the children. It might amaze you to know that even there are people that do allow their children, like from the rural part of the states, they allow them, they bring them into the city mostly to acquire the Islamic knowledge as well. They do the begging and all sorts of things to take back to the parent. And there are those that attach the children with the malams from the village to come out to the city for education. And from our findings, we found out that there are some of the parents that doesn't even know their children are even begging. There are those that send money for feeding to the children. But nevertheless, the malams do send them out to beg, and they remit some amount every week. So those kind of challenges we are facing with the malams it's not easy for our work, because at a point you have a child that will agree to what the ideology you're trying to instill into him, but the Malan is looking at it as if you are a threat to the weekly whatever he's getting from this child. And another challenge is from the hawkers. those most especially the young girls, they are so exposed to getting the little change they have from the hawking and from the men that do take advantages of them. So it's not easy for one to convince such kind of people to get back to school, both the hawkers and the accomplice. They are it's very, very difficult for you to convince such kind of groups to go back to school. But we're trying our best. If among 10 we can get one, or among 20 or 100 we can be able to convince 1 or 10 of them, at least our problem is okay.
Okay, and how have the insecurity and facing Kaduna State and other parts of middle belt region, how is it affecting you?
Come again, please. How is the insecurity affecting?
Tadamo, did you hear me?
Not clearly, please.
I
Come
said,
again.
how is the insecurity? How is the insecurity that is ravaging Nigeria currently affecting your work? Has the insecurity in Nigeria affected your work?
Yeah, not just my work, but the insecurity in the mostly northern part of the region is affecting most of it's affecting different parts of the sector. We have a program that we wanted to a program we wanted to do tackling the Almajiran chief from the grassroots, which we intend. Part of the challenges that we're facing is when you get to meet a child that is mostly in the Almajiri schools, when you get to convince a child, and because his parents are not mostly in the maybe Kaduna or the city of Katsina or Kano, they are coming from different villages. And when you are able to start working on a child, and there's this time they call Rani, and that's rainy season. They go back to their villages for farming and all sorts of things. So you feel as if you've been cut off from what you are doing. And before that child could come back, maybe he has fallen into one or two things. So we decided to design a program that is tackling the Almajiran chief from the grassroots, which includes the program of child spacing, family planning. But because of the insecurity and mostly lack of funding, we cannot be able to reach out to those areas that these children are coming out from. So yeah, really it's affecting, it's slowing down our program greatly.
Okay, and before we let you go, because our time is fast spent, remember that you can join the conversation simply by raising up your digital hand, and we will try to accommodate as much questions and comments as possible. Now, Ms. Adamu,
Yes,
do you have policy in mind? Have you thought of policy in the or championing for a policy that will help solve these issues? Have you thought of doing that?
Yeah, currently we are working with the coalition of groups. We are trying to bring out policy to reach to the legislation or that will allow parents fend for their kids. That is, whoever is sending his word to any of these Angayas, the Almajiri school should be able to at least fund for that child's education. So we're trying to see how we can reach out to the legislative to bring out that policy.
And how far have you gone with this particular endeavor?
Not too far. We are working with the coalitions. We are trying to reach out to some parts of the northern part to talk to legislative, one or two legislators to give us support, and that we can push it up. That's what we are doing now, at the point we are now.
Okay, now gender-based violence is an issue that has gained international recognition. It's an issue, especially in this era, that has gained a lot of attention from the international community. Have you attempted partnering with any international organization about this issue?
Not yet.
Okay,
But
and any reason why?
Not actually. We are working on the from the local level now. We're trying to see how we can gather data that will support any of oh goodness, it's Nigeria, man. The light is off. Can somebody give me a lantern here? Sorry, please about that.
No problem. You can just switch off your video if it's not convenient for you, or you can. We are seeing your face, so it's all right.
Okay. They just take the light now. So
yeah, you can just continue.
We are working locally, and we're trying to see how we can gather data. What we are doing now, basically, in the northern part of the region, we are trying to make people understand the fact of being violated, and we're trying to make them like encourage them to speak. We are trying to listen, believe in their experience of the violence, and encourage them to speak. And we are after we encourage them to speak, we are trying to see how we can take the matter to the law. So that is what we are doing for now. But we intend to collaborate with other NGOs.
Okay, I can see some hands up. Mr. Usman Koshaki. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. Mr. Usman.
Okay. Yeah, I'm here. Good evening, good evening, the moderators and the guests. That is a wonderful presentation, very insightful. Though the network has been dangling, it hasn't been stable. But for the little we have heard over here, I think it's a wonderful presentation. Thank you for that. First of all, I have two questions and one suggestion to your NGO. My first question here, I don't know, maybe you just take down the questions, then later you can answer that. My first question here has to do with your research is basically more concerned with the northern part of the country. So we all know down here in the north, religion and cultural background, or let me say religion and culture actually play a great role in solving, not really solving alone, even when you want to incite people to do something negative and things that are bad, religion and culture has been one of the major thing considered when this thing is coming up. So how do you think now religion and culture can be used properly to solve this gender-based violence in the northern part of the country? And my second question is, we have seen cases where, let me say, due to the economic hardship a lot of parents face, though it's never a reason you give birth to that child, so it's never a reason. But due to this economic hardship, you find out that parents themselves will take their children to other places, the well-to-dos, for as a household, let me put it that way, to help them with some of their house chores, and you find that most of the times the parents don't even do anything for their own. Is anybody hearing me?
Yeah,
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay, so due to the economic situation, parents will now take their own words to the well-to-do family for the house chores and other activities of the house. Now, in most of these cases, you find out that that child that is being taken there psychologically, you can never compare what your own parents would do for you and your masters, what they would do for their own children. So psychologically, the person now, the household now is being drained. That issue of equality and all that, you hardly got it right. So my question now, how do you think the government now can come in to discourage most of these things? Like, parents should be made to handle their responsibilities. These are the two questions I have for you, and they hope I'm not taking much time here.
Please go ahead. Go ahead.
And the last one, it's actually a suggestion. Though Mrs. Adamu never speak of founding, maybe she has a lot of money. When they talk about the funding, I didn't hear her talking about as a challenge the funding and the financial support from NGOs. I think, or even government or to do individuals, corporate organizations. I think that's a very good one. And you talked about your NGO going to the conventional, or let me say the Almajiri schools for some functions. Now, my advice, like you said, you are looking forward to a legislation that we integrate some of these things. First of all, you see, parents should be made, if you have your way. We all don't know who we're talking to here, but if you have your way, it's an advice actually. Please, parents should be made to take care of their responsibilities. Nobody is saying you must have 50 children. You must, believe you me, most of these children that are being sent to this Islamia school, that's this Angaya Al-Majri school, most of the parents, the truth is they're not doing it basically for those children to go and learn. No, the essence is, hey, the burden is too much on me. I'm having 15 children all alone, and I can actually not cater for all their needs. So the best thing I can do is to send these children out there to go to the Islamia in the name of learning. But the truth of the matter is they're shunning their responsibilities. Now, the government can now step in. We have seen boarding house school, that is the Western education aspect of it, or we have seen where boarding house school is well managed, where parents will take their children with provisions and all what they really want. So that will make it more comprehensive. I think government can, during the reign of former President Goodluck Jonathan, he came in with something like this. So things like this, I'm sure, can help in reducing some of these things. And parents should make sure they take care or they handle their responsibilities. Yes, you can give birth to a child, you can give him education, you can feed him at home, but what kind of education are you giving that child? And what kind of food? Is not all, what kind of food are you giving that child? The fact that a child eats once is now different from a child who eats 3 square meals, nutritional 3 square meals. So parents now should be subjected to do what is right. I think if you have your way, this is just an advice. I think this can go a better way in fixing or in having a better society. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Usman. Mr. Usman Koshaki. I hope I got it right now. Let us hear from our guest. Let her react to the questions that was asked to her. Ms. Adamu.
Yes, ma'am.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Osman, if I get you correct, you talk about the concern on the religion and cultural background. Can you please come again with that question, please? I got the rest, but I didn't
Okay.
quite get what you
Okay.
said about.
I said here in the north, I don't know, but here in the north that we all are, we know religion and culture actually plays a great role in what we do. So now, how can religion and culture be used in solving some of this gender-based violence?
Okay. Why, Mrs. The host asked me of how the religion and culture in the all aspects in our all aspects of life here in the north. Of course, the religion and we cannot shy away from religion and culture. So we are trying our best at our own level to talk to the community leaders, to talk to the mostly imams, to talk to them on how they can identify and how they can identify and tackle the issue of this gender-based violence. So we are on the level of talking with the imams and the community leaders. We are trying to make them understand what is really the even concept of the gender-based violence and how they can identify those that are being violated or the perpetrator. So we are trying at our own level to see how we can involve the religious and traditional rulers to go with us in that part. And you also asked about house help. We have different types of house help, and there is this organization. Is it an NAPTIP or what? They are really working on seeing how they can curtail this maintenance of house of issue. Of course, we do have the issue of house help, but the root causes of this gender-based violence we're talking about, poverty is amongst it. An underage girl would want to go to school, but because the parent doesn't have the resources to take her to school, they result in taking them to house help. And I think NAPTIT are trying their best to see how they can stop all this. We have those that are of age that are going to this work with their own concepts. And those people, one way or the other too, they have their own form of how they have been violated. So of course we have such kind of issue, but the root cause is poverty at large. And you talk about funding. For long, the founder and some of our members have been funding all the activities we've been carried out. We try to reach out to some international NGOs and some philanthropists, local philanthropists that could fund one or two of our programs. So we are still working on the funding. Yeah, I and some of the members are slowly funding all the programs we've been doing so far. I hope I answered your question, Mala Usman.
Okay, let us go to the next person. Let us go to the next person because we are almost out of time. I can see Abdul Kadir Ashafa. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. I see your hand up.
Abdul Kadir Ashafa.
Okay.
Mr. Shafa? Mr. Shafa, I don't know if it's just me, but your audio is really bad.
My name is Abdulkadir Ashafa. Hello. Okay. And based on what the founder has said is okay. Is it okay now? Hello. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. Please go ahead now.
Okay.
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm one of the technical team for Step Forward Charity Foundation. And based on what the founder has said, exactly what is happening on pertaining gender-based violence. And for instance, me, I'm apart from being technical team to Step Forward Charity Foundation, I'm also an open consultant with some other NGOs based in Kaduna and Katsina and Zamfara and Nasarawa State. And based on recently, we are even trying to see how we can collaborate with UNFPA, because recently I participated in one FGD or for UNFPA as a CSO on this issue of gender-based violence in relation to COVID-19, because there was an high report of gender-based violence during COVID-19 period, and which we participated in that. And based on what she said, there's a issue of denial and also confidentiality and fear of the victim not be stigmatized is one of the basic challenges that we are facing.
We lost you there.
Hello. Okay, I think that's just what I just have to.
You're breaking.
Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Shafa, your network was really.
It's running here. The network is maybe I'll put it on the chat box. I'll put some of what I'm saying in the chat box.
Really could not.
Thank you.
Hear you. If you can repeat what you said, but if your network is still breaking, I saw Prince Charles Dixon's hand up. Prince Dixon, I don't know if you want to say something. Okay.
It appears Augusta is out. Okay, Prince Charles, you are raising your hand, or was there someone speaking before Augusta's network dropped out?
Oh, okay, I just wanted to say, yeah, wonderful work Fati is doing for Tia Demo, and thank her. But I have concerns, also working in the development sector. Can you hear me?
Yes, yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, one of the things we battle, GBV isn't my specialty, but we still have issues of what we refer to, especially in this part of the climb, as harmful traditional practices in terms of GBV. The fact that, for example, here on the plateau, it's actually presumed that there are cultural stigmatizations attached to GBV issues. I don't know what can be done or what is being done or what Fati's organization can do in a situation whereby such violence is perpetrated by family members or in family or in-house, and they don't go outside to discuss it. How do you address such concerns? What can be done? You know, and this is a two-pronged question. Looking at, for example, issues such as child marriage and issues such as child marriage and spousal domestic violence.
Thank you, Prince.
Miss Adamu?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, you heard what Prince Charles Dixon said. Can you react to that?
Okay. Mr. Dixon, it depends on how the family wants it to go about. Most of the challenges, because I talked about the challenges earlier on, there are issue of stigmatization, which they don't want to reveal how this particular person within the family has been violated. Most of the cases we do have is violation that is outside the family.
Okay.
I think she's frozen again.
Mr. Adamu, are you there?
Looks like she's frozen.
Hello? The network
Okay,
went a lot.
you're back.
Yeah, I'm back.
Yes,
Pulse.
we can hear you. Please go ahead. You were talking about stigmatization and reporting family members. We are listening to you. Mr. Adamu, are you there? Mr. Adamu? Okay, I think she's frozen again. Remember that we are talking about curbing gender-based violence in northern Nigeria, the challenges and solution. Miss Adamu?
Yeah, I'm back, please. Calls keep coming in. So,
okay, we're hearing
so
you.
as I was saying, the cultural disadvantages we are having from this part of what we are discussing, the gender-based violence, mostly when you have somebody that is being violated from the family, it takes a great deal for them to reveal it out, and it brings out a kind of war within the family that will take long for them to reconcile. But what we are urging, that is why we are doing a kind of sensitization or creating awareness to those Masuungwa, the community leaders. We are trying to bring the youth and the married women into the program to let them understand that really they are being violated, and if they keep quiet, it allows the perpetrator to go about doing his own thing with other victims. So we are trying to encourage families to speak out, to let their words speak out. That is, if at any chance they feel violated, because in every average woman we have children or a lady that is being violated from somebody that is very close to her, somebody that's supposed to be her guardian. So we are trying to urge them to speak out, to come out and discuss about this issue. And we are trying to let the parents or the guardian give them that listening ear. They should listen to them. They should listen to them.
Okay, just before I let you go, because time is already fast spent. How have you handled the issues that have been reported? The team to take these cases to that you have gotten.
Yeah, that's where I'm coming into. How we handle the cases, we referred the cases with the collaboration of the community leaders and the religious leader. We collaborate in collaboration with them. We refer them to the police cases, and we are trying to see how we can forward the cases to the police and take them to the law, how they can enforce it. That's what we are doing.
Okay, and that's as much as we can take on today's program. We have been discussing on the issue curbing gender-based violence in northern Nigeria, the challenges and solutions. Special thanks to our guest. She is a chartered accountant working with the Federal Ministry of Education. She is also an activist and a philanthropist. She is also the founder, Step Forward Charity Foundation. Ms. Fatima Adamu, thank you so much for coming today.
You're welcome.
Thank you to all the participants that participated during today's interview. And just before I let you go, we have just one more question for you. And the question says, how do you solve the problems from the Christian communities? Because it's not just the Muslim communities that are in northern Nigeria. The Christian communities, how do you solve these issues there?
Yeah, that's why I made mention of collaborating with the religious leaders. It's not just the imams. We have collaborated with interfaiths. So of course, whatever the situation it is from the imams, we do carry it out to the Christian community. We do get them through their pastors, and as well as their community leaders as well. So of course, that is how we do get through them.
Okay, thank you so much. And like I was saying, special thanks to the people that participated, people that asked questions, people that commented. I would ask you to please leave your phone number or your official email address in case if some of our participants want to reach out to you concerning this particular issue. You can just leave it in the comment section and they would be able to get it. And remember to follow Elumba Television on all social media platforms, especially Facebook.